So I had a wild ride yesterday in my regression. I'm not even sure I can call myself a past life regressionist anymore, even though that's kind of the term of art we all use. But we did not go to a past life. We did not go to a future life. We spent 2 hours talking to the Galactic Council. So I'll tell you all about what they said. So it was really interesting. Before I had even finished the induction, she began to describe what she was looking at. And she was on a completely different planet from Earth that was covered with beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trees and other kinds of plants. And interspersed throughout, there were no people on this planet. Interspersed throughout the plants were these beautiful crystal, they looked like plants sort of coming up out of the ground. So they were sort of growing up the way trees do. Beautiful crystals. And they provided light source and energy to the planet. There was water. There were 2 suns. It was just a pristine, pristine planet. And they were showing it to her to show what human beings could do on Earth if they don't destroy it again, that we could also attain that. So then we began to ask, who are you? I said, what we always say when they get to a place is look at your body, see what kind of form you're in. And she said, no form. I'm not a form. I'm a consciousness. And I said, well, what consciousness are you? And she said, galactic consciousness. And at one point she called herself part of the Galactic Council. But at first she just said, we're a group of various beings who represent a consciousness that is similar to each other. And I asked her if she wanted to tell us about who was in this consciousness, and she said, I'm not getting into that today. So what I asked was, why did you come through her today? Like, what is it that you want to show her? And what they said was that, I have to look at my notes, they said that they wanted to discuss expansion of consciousness and AI. And they said, this is a quote, expansion of consciousness needs great responsibility. And so they were talking about how human beings are going to use AI. And I said, what are some of the pitfalls? What are some of the positive things? And what they said was the best use of AI is going to be in the medical field, that there are going to be leaps and bounds that are going to grow, it's just going to expand so rapidly that AI is going to help in the medical field so profoundly. But they said there was going to be some instability, just the way there was instability when the internet first came out, and nobody kind of knew not the internet, when computers first came out, and people finally figured out, oh, there's the internet, and the internet really freed us and gave us so much material to work with. And she said, just in the same way that AI right now is going to go through a period of instability until people learn how to use it. And that what's going to happen eventually is that AI is going to, and everybody knows this part, I think it's nothing new, that AI is going to replace so many of the mundane jobs that we have. And this is going to leave human beings free to expand their consciousness and work on personal growth, which is what we're here to do. And I said, what kind of personal growth? Like, what do you see as important? And they said, we want you to learn how to form communities. And they can be communities that are literally physical communities where people live together with like-minded, philosophies and thoughts, or they can be communities on the internet. They can just be a community of people you identify with. But the communities were going to be very, very important in the future. To sort of find your tribe was what they were saying, essentially. And they said that the reason why they came to talk through her today was that she would be channeling them in the future. They said, we want to work on her vibration today because in the future, she will be not just channeling us, but she'll be using remote viewing for finding missing children especially. And they said that she was going to make a huge contribution to the planet, and they wanted to begin the relationship as much as possible now. They wanted her to come back and see me again so that they could talk to her some more. They told her their vibration was way too powerful for her to meditate and channel them right away, so they only want her to meditate 3 times a week. But they were full of very specific information, and so I thought it was really interesting. There were a lot of personal things they said to her, so I can't talk about those. But the other thing that really occurred to me, and this is kind of my takeaway from the session, is that the way in which we are beginning to learn how to fold in AI and blend in AI into our lives parallels the way we're getting information from the other side. So when Bashar or the Galactics, or Pamela Arlen channels the Galactic Federation or Galactic Council all the time. She's very much in touch with them. So it really reminds me of the way we're trying to use AI. So I think there's a lot of blending and twinning and collaborative work that is happening in this field that we're all so interested in. And so I'm going to really be looking at how AI information is blended, and also how information from Galactics is blended. So I know this was a very long post, but I find it really very interesting, and I'm curious if this keeps happening, that when clients come to see me, instead of going into other lifetimes, we simply just start talking to star beings. We've done it before. I've had other sessions where Galactics came in and spoke to us directly. I'll tell you those stories another time. Sometimes they start speaking in other languages, and all kinds of wild stuff happens. Anyway, please look up my channel. It's or my website is www.healingacrosstime.com. I do QHHT past life sessions in person in New York City and Annapolis, Maryland. And I do BQH, past life regression sessions online. And then I also do a lot of other much shorter things, which are fun to do. We can get a lot of work done in half an hour and an hour even. So come see me. I'd love to work with you, and take care.